In November 2018, we had a dropped object incident at the central processing plant Bellevue behind me. Fortunately, no one was injured, but it was a high potential near miss. As you'll see in this video, our lifting contractor had all the barriers in place for a safe lift. He carried out 2 lifts in the days prior to the incident using the same equipment, so what went wrong? It's often the things that we can't see or can't control that are our biggest threat. So how we guard against them is crucial.
In late November 2018, a 500 kilovolt generator was in the process of being located at site in preparation for turnaround activity at QGC's Bellevue Central Processing Plant. The crane was serviced as required and appeared to be in good working order. The generator was lifted from a flatbed truck by the crane and walked approximately 660 meters by the crane, where the load was in the process of being lifted over a fence line. It was during the lift phase that the load dropped to the ground.
We were out on site. One of the lads come walking down and mentioned that there'd been a drop load. I could see the Franna in the background and that there had been a major incident. So we walked up there, cordoned off the area. By that time there was a few blokes that were involved in the lift at the same time, took control of the scene and we closed it down and started preparing for the investigation. The crane driver at the time was very shaken by the incident. He hadn't actually fully sunk in yet till he went to hop out of the crane. And the dogman was probably still running on adrenaline, to be honest. Before the incident, there was absolutely no warning signs. The boys had been lifting with the crane beforehand. Loads had been heavier and lifted longer distances. All the pre-start checks on the crane had been carried out and all passed with flying colours. All the controls and measures were in place. They had a permit to work, approved lift plans, swims. It was just one of those moments that the Swiss cheese aligned, which resulted in the incident. If he hadn't have been following the life-saving rules, we probably could have had not just one fatality but multiple. So there was absolutely no red flags that this incident was going to occur.
So why on this occasion did the load drop? After an extensive investigation, a number of learnings have been identified that will help prevent an incident like this in the future, keeping ourselves and our workmates safe.
Firstly, let's talk about the design of the part and the significance in explaining why this load was dropped. Upon investigation, it was found that the brass screws holding the wear pad in place had failed, and it caused the wear pad to get jammed in the compensating sheave, and this started the catastrophic cause of events. The rope then jumped off the sheave and then came through the guides, and then it snapped and the load came to ground. We don't know when this occurred. The crane successfully completed lifts 2 days prior.
In this case, no one was injured. However, the potential to cause harm was extremely high. Looking at the incident and what we know, what was done well by the team that prevented them from getting harmed. The dislodged wear pad found during the investigation was not visible to the work crew and not able to be identified prior to the incident, showing us that catastrophic failures may still occur even when we are fully compliant and have all the best intentions. What equipment do you use that may have hidden faults? Could this pose a risk or cause a harm? What will you do to ensure you assess the risk?
Although it did not contribute to the root cause of the incident, the generator was picked and carried 660 meters to the final lift position. We need to look at the intent of the machinery we use for our jobs and question processes that potentially add risk or aren't as efficient or safe. In this instance, the flatbed truck used to deliver the generator could have been unloaded closer to the lifting position to eliminate the travel of the Franna crane. So what actions will you take to challenge the task in hand to allow you to safely complete the work?
We need to remember, risk is real in all we do despite our best intentions. We must minimize gaps in our barriers because we may never know when a risk may realize. We also need to continually question our work methodology to ensure we are working efficiently, but most important, safely.
I think the key learnings to this is that the life-saving rules were followed. No one was under the load and it could have been a very different outcome.
We were very fortunate that no one was injured in this incident due to the behaviours and the barriers in place by our crew. I asked you all to look beyond this incident and look at all the everyday activities in life that put you at threat? Do you have barriers in place that will protect you from these threats, and do you action these? So how will you consider that unknown threat moving forward? Together we can all be Goal Zero.